you're basically part of China's satellite state, right? That's essentially the problem we're unpacking. When some in China talk as if Singapore, because it's majority ethnic Chinese, should naturally be in Beijing's orbit. It sounds flattering on the surface. Shared culture, shared roots, shared language. But for Singapore's racial harmony, that's a political hand grenade. Let's start with China's own narrative. Officially, Beijing says it respects other countries' sovereignty and doesn't claim overseas Chinese as its citizens. It talks about the zhonghua minzu, the Chinese nation, as a big cultural family, and it spends a lot on soft power. Confucius institutes, Chinese media abroad, cultural festivals, outreach to overseas Chinese business networks. From that angle, it's understandable that some Chinese commentators see Singapore as a natural partner. Chinese majority population, Mandarin as an official language, Chinese New Year holidays, even government leaders who speak fluent Mandarin at events in Beijing. But here's where it goes off the rails, when the rhetoric drifts from cultural affinity into political expectation. Look at the pattern. In the 2016 South China Sea arbitration, Singapore supported the rule of law approach and said the ruling should be respected. Chinese state-linked media hit back, hinting Singapore was meddling and should know its place. Chinese netizens piled on, accusing Singapore of eating Chinese rice but smashing the pot. In other cases, when Singapore doesn't echo Beijing's line on Taiwan, Hong Kong, or the US, you see online comments asking, why is this Chinese country not siding with China? As if Singapore were some rebellious province instead of an independent, multi-ethnic state. The problem is not every ranty comment. The problem is when this mindset gets amplified by nationalistic media or left unchallenged, it spills over into Singapore's domestic politics. Singapore's social contract is crystal clear. Chinese, Malay, Indian, others, all are Singaporeans first. That's why the government is hypersensitive to any hint that local Chinese might be seen as more loyal to Beijing than to Singapore. During the Cold War, Singapore cracked down hard on pro-Beijing leftist groups for exactly that reason. Today, it has foreign interference laws that apply to any big power, including China. So when narratives from China imply that Singapore is naturally in the Chinese camp because of its ethnic makeup, that puts Malay and Indian communities on edge. It feeds a dangerous question. Are Chinese Singaporeans truly independent of Beijing, or are they potential fifth columns? Most are just trying to pay the mortgage, not run foreign policy. To be fair, the Chinese government rarely, if ever, officially says Singapore is our satellite state. But it benefits from a gray zone. Allow nationalist influencers and some media to talk like Singapore is part of a greater Chinese family, signal displeasure when Singapore leans too neutral, and let the pressure do the work. Here's the more honest approach. China can promote Chinese culture worldwide without blurring the line between cultural kinship and political ownership. Respecting Singapore means accepting that a Chinese face does not equal a Chinese passport, and Mandarin fluency does not equal foreign policy obedience. And for Singapore, drawing that line loudly, sometimes very loudly, isn't overreaction. It's survival in a region where racial politics and big power games have burned countries before. In the end, if China truly wants to win friends among overseas Chinese, the best move is simple. Stop acting like their boss. Treat them as what they actually are. Citizens of their own countries, with their own loyalties, and the relationship becomes a lot less awkward and a lot more sustainable.